Hey guys, this is Dylan here from Iceberg TV. I'm here to tell you about how cool the EZRA ADERHOLD nukes are.
Longtime friend of the channel, EZRA ADERHOLD, has a brand new Swirl Nuke out on the market. Today, I'm going to show you guys how it flies. I've been throwing these for at least a week now, and I'm deeming these the People's Nuke. And why I call it the People's Nuke is most nukes are too fast and too stable for anyone that's throwing less than 70 miles an hour. Really wide rim, usually very stable, but not so much these nukes. Now, by no means these are not flippy or understable, but I throw right around 60, 65 miles an hour, right within that range. And these are very usable run of nukes even for someone like me. So I'm really excited to share with you guys the flight of these today, because I think the flight of these is going to surprise a lot of people. Able to get, even with height, a nice pop-up and a little bit of a straight flight, and then a hard fade at the end of the flight. You're still going to get that nuke fade at the end, but I'm actually getting a very controllable flight out of these. Nice and straight for a while, and then a good dependable fade. And I feel like this run of nuke, especially for flex players, forehand players, you guys are really going to like that it's going to hold that line for a little bit longer than most nukes or nuke OSs. And if you don't mind those really wide rim drivers, I feel like the nuke is one of those drivers. If you're used to throwing like trails and rates, the nuke can really help you stretch out a little bit more distance on those full power throws. It's quite a bit wider, it's a bit sharper, cuts through the air really well, and it is a really far driving distance driver at the end of the day. And the funny thing about these nukes is that I'll throw another disc. Like, I've been really liking the Missy Gannon Thrasher a lot. Review coming on that one very soon. Spoiler alert, my favorite driver from the drop. I'm throwing that Thrasher on like a big high hyzer flip and turning line, and it just looks like a max distance shot. But then I'll throw that nuke, get it to like barely flip to flat and then fade, and it'll get just as much distance because of that wide rim and that fast speed. It'll get just as much distance as some other drivers on a max distance line. And I think that's something that visually for me, the nukes don't stay in the air for quite as long, but then when I walk up and see where it landed, it goes just as far as everything else, and sometimes even quite a bit farther. From a side profile perspective, these are not too flat, not too domey. You can see this lighter colored one has a little bit lower parting line than the slightly darker colored one. It's probably hard for you guys to tell the difference, but the lighter colored one that I have has quite a bit lower parting line. Let's see if we can get a little bit more of a shot shapers type of line with this thing. The wind absolutely slapped that down. So we've actually got a nice little headwind coming in right now. Historically, these have been flipping up for me, especially into the headwind. So with this little bit of headwind, let's see what we can do. See, getting a little flip up, pretty straight flight. And for these like little bit of headwind drives, I've been going to the nuke instead of the Thrasher for that reason right there. Super good distance, stable enough to fight the wind. And when I have a little headwind to help me out, I get a really nice shot shape. Flipping up to flat. Going nice and far, very easily. Really great run of nuke from Discraft. Why I like this run of nuke in particular versus other runs of nuke is the more understable nukes tend to be a bit flatter, and the domier nukes tend to be really stable. But these nukes have a little bit of dome, almost a pop top, but a pretty low parting line for nukes in general, in my opinion. So with that low parting line, which will make it glidier and a little more understable, combined with the high dome, it'll give some of that stability back, but the dome also helps you get a little bit more distance. You wind up with a really nice flying nuke on your hands that I'm not necessarily convinced that everybody can throw. Like, if you don't throw as hard as I do, they're gonna fly super stable for you. But if you throw just as fast as me or slightly faster, you're gonna love this run, and it's gonna be an absolute bomber for you. So shout out, friend of the channel, EZRA ADERHOLD. Hopefully you can pick up some wins in the very near future. Some good courses coming up on tour that I feel like EZRA might shred at. So keep an eye on him on the tour going forward. Save 10% on any disc at discgolfdealsusa.com/icebergtv. Stay humble, live with gratitude. I'll catch you in the next one, and take care.